with apologies for the late start, let us get into a preview, shall we? Oh, it's the Ducks. You know, I think I've done enough of these previews for this season. It really doesn't matter. None of it matters. Actually, there's an interesting thing about the Ducks. Some off-season injury issues project that Ryan Kessler, Hampus Lindholm, and Sami Vatanen are all going to be on the IR to start the season. I may not like Ryan Kessler, but I will say this. If there's a way to be back for the start of the season, you'll find it. And Lindholm and Vatanen are young. So I'm leaving them in the lineup. I'm just putting an IR next to their name to acknowledge that, yes, at the start of the season, it's likely that one or more of them will not be in the lineup. But with all of them in the lineup, and if it goes the way I think it'll go, the Ducks should have a really good year. Let's get down to it, shall we? So, Nick Ritchie had a very solid coming out season, and his brother Brett did in Dallas too. Nick's the more talented of the two, though. Nick with Getzlav and Perry might be one of the more sandpaper style lines in the NHL. And of course, I could not talk enough about this line last season. Coming out of expansion, I am stunned it is still together. I am shocked that Shea Theodore allowed this line to continue. Cogliano, Kessler, Silverberg. Might be the best second line in hockey that I saw last year. No offense to any other second lines anywhere else. Just for their ability to shut another team down, just for their ability to frustrate the opposition, they were fantastic. And the first line wasn't shabby either. And here's the thing. Rickard Rakell, a 30-goal scorer, is on the third line with Antoine Vermette and Patrick Eaves. Eaves is another goal scorer. So, for special teams, you can put out any of these top 9, and I'm talking power play or penalty kill, and both the power play and the penalty kill should be top 10 in the NHL. And then we're not even getting into Logan Shaw, Chris Wagner, and Andre Cachet. And Cachet, every time he scored, it was either a weird goal or a timely goal. So I think there's more upside with him. They signed Rasmussen out of Chicago. He's got an asterisk there because he's out of place. He's a center. I don't know if him or Grant, another free agent, I don't know if either of them get in regularly or not. And Jared Boll, I'm not going to project him into the everyday lineup over Cachet, because I just can't see it. And then I've got Max Jones with a question mark because he's a first rounder. He's still young. This will be his second training camp. He's the kind of wild card that, and I could have had Sam Steele up here too, but I think one or the other could make it. I don't think both of them would, because the Ducks are going for it. Absolutely going for it. The willingness they had to deal with Vegas to try to protect what they had and keep themselves from losing anybody key shows that they believe they've got their shot. So, Fowler, Vatanen, Lindholm, Manson, Larson, Montour. I think that's their top 6. I know that the site I use has Bieksa projected into the top 6. I really honestly think Bieksa might be better off at number 7. And it really honestly is probably going to come down to whether or not Larson is 100% ready for everyday duty in the NHL, or if he needs to be spelled out and Bieksa can come in for him. So maybe Bieksa plays 40 games and Larson plays 40 games. I think Montour is basically ready. Sometimes you'll have players who take a little longer, but once they're done at the American Hockey League level, they have nothing further to prove at the American Hockey League level. There's no point leaving him there. And to me, Montour has to be ready. Manson's already shown that he's ready. I mean, the Ducks were worried most about losing him in expansion, it seems, although Silverberg was projected as being left out of their protected list, and then he wasn't, and then, there was a lot of concern over who they might lose, and in the end, they're still intact. They've still got a very good team. And in net, you've got Gibson. If Gibson falters or gets hurt, you've got Ryan Miller. And I'm going to tell you, as a Canucks fan, as somebody who watched 2 Canucks games live and watched Ryan Miller both times, and he lost both games, had a goals against average between those 2 games of around 4.5. If you include the fact that he was on the bench for an extra attacker in one game, 4.6 goals against, that sucks, right? Not Miller's fault. The Canucks' problems over the last couple seasons, absolutely not the fault of Ryan Miller. Miller came in, did the job for Vancouver that he was asked to do. The team in front of him wasn't any good. Miller, if he plays, say, 25 to 30 games behind Gibson, I think he's going to benefit the Ducks quite a bit. I don't think there'll be a dip from Bernier at all. I think in terms of starting potential, let's say Gibson gets hurt, I think Miller has really good starting potential even now. And we'll see. And then Rito Berra is still sitting in the minors. Rito Berra every now and then will come up and play for whichever organization owns him that day. And you never know what you're getting with him. Rito Berra's had good international games. He's had some good NHL games. And he's had some bad ones. So that's how you end up being a number 3 guy, an American Hockey League goaltender that gets called up every once in a while. But Gibson-Miller is a very, very good tandem. And for me, it should surprise no one who's following my board, I have the Ducks finishing second behind the Oilers and ahead of the Flames. So, really honestly, why they finish, for me, ahead of the Flames, and they're right there with the Oilers, I'm talking it's a very razor-thin difference. I think Ritchie has scoring potential that he hasn't reached yet. I think Corey Perry can get it back. I think he's young enough to get it back. We'll see. Kessler, if healthy, returned from injury, yes. And Silverberg absolutely has that. Raquel's a goal scorer. Eves came out. Eves is not going to score as many goals this season as he scored in 2016-17, but they don't need him to. So you've got 5 forwards right there who are capable of, I think, at least 20 goals. And Getzlaf is able to trade the puck off and pass wherever and feed these guys. And if Getzlaf and Perry can get back to what they were not that long ago, it's easy to forget that, Perry was a 50-goal scorer. Perry was in the Rocket Richard category, and it just sort of fell apart for him. So I think he can get back. And again, as a fan, I may not like these players personally, but I can respect the fact that they're damn good players. Vermette in the 3-hole as the number 3 center is perfect for Vermette. And this top 4, as long as it's healthy, and again, you've got Vatanen and Lindholm, and those are key guys. Lindholm especially. A big part of what fueled Anaheim getting better quickly this past season was reaching a settlement with Lindholm and getting him in the lineup. Hampus Lindholm is a excellent defenseman, and again, I say that because it's true and not because of any particular affection for the Ducks. And if anybody says, well, wait, he's wearing a Ducks jersey, what's he talking about? Welcome to the channel. And Corbinian Holzer's down there as a fill-in if they need him. I always thought Holzer was sort of underused and underestimated in Toronto. And I think he's a good 7 or 8 guy. I'm not saying he's top 5. I'm not saying he's potential top 4. But I think he is a good fill-in, and I think he's somebody that definitely shows that if these guys aren't ready, does Jacob Magna play? Do they call up the Swolinski kid? Like, there's different routes they can take. I definitely think for depth, as long as everybody's healthy, this is one of the deepest blue lines in the NHL. If both Vatanen and Lindholm miss the start of the season, it's going to struggle for a while. if Bieksa is asked to play top 4 minutes, that's not who Bieksa is right now. That hasn't been who Bieksa's been since before he left Vancouver. And I greatly respect Bieksa. One of my favorite Canucks in terms of their defensemen ever. One of the most hard-nosed, fun guy. Always gives great interviews. But he's not top 4. So there really isn't anything here that I think is a problem, and this is why there's a question mark with Max Jones. Where do you put him? Do you put him in front of Shaw or Rasmussen? Does Wagner come out? Does Rasmussen go in? Like, there are different ways you can go if you're Anaheim, and maybe a rookie comes in and takes it. Like Sam Steele's not on the board. Maybe he comes in, has a great training camp, and wins a job. It's an enviable pool of talent that Anaheim has collected to be here, and genuinely, I do view them as contenders. I know they've built up a reputation as a team that loses the big games. They've built up a reputation as the team that can't win a Game 7, and I said a lot about Randy Carlyle and his attitude towards it, but I mean, honestly, all they have to do is win that big game this year. That thing where that silver chalice is on the line, and all the doubt goes away. And they could do it. They need Getzlaf and Perry to be Getzlaf and Perry. And they need them to be the players they were regularly. Not just for a couple weeks at a time, but regularly. Because Getzlaf, Perry, Kessler, all over the age of 30. And we're getting into that area where, yes, there's young talent coming up like Jones and Steele and all these guys. But until a guy plays in the NHL, and I've said this before, you can't say whether he's going to be able to make it work or not. So, you know what you've got with these guys. Some of them are getting older. You got to win now. And it'll be interesting to see what they do, because, again, my least favorite team in the league is Anaheim. But it's one hell of a team. It really is. It is an intimidating team on paper, and they've proven me wrong on a number of occasions in regards to some of their decisions, some of their roster moves, their coaching decision. There's different things that I look at, and I've said, oh, this is it. The Ducks are going to fall apart, and they didn't. They're not falling apart this year from what I can see. You guys can let me know if you think they're falling apart. I can't see any Ducks fans saying, oh yeah, no, we're falling apart. This is a very steady, very strong roster, and the scary thing is there's some developing graybeards in the top 6 forwards, but it's still a very young blue line. And there's still a lot of room for growth with this team. Internally, there is a ton of room for growth. So let me know if you're a Ducks fan, what you're excited about going into the season, how you feel about it. Are you psyched, or are you nervous? Is this the big year? Is this not the big year? Because really, for this team, there's only one goal. Win the Stanley Cup. And win it now. Because as early as next year, who knows where this is at. So, again, let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys again soon.